I'm optimistic enough to think that it is a wake-up call for a number of people to say, hey, there are some problems out there related to liberty that need to be fixed, right? We've moved away from our constitutional principles. We moved away from the image of our founders in this country, and we think that there's something better, or we see that the change is moving in a negative direction. Now, obviously, at that point, there's this moment where we can either do something or decide that it's not worth the fight. And that's really just a battle of marketing. If there's one thing that the ideological right and the ideological left do much better than the nonpartisan idea of liberty, it's marketing. It's one thing that I'm very passionate about, is when we get out there and we talk to people, it's not about, no one would be interested if I said, hey guys, have you heard about the number of books that I've sold and the number of pages? No, what you care about is the stories about our mutual friend Zach and these other people in this community who are in there and they are improving their lives. It's human stories that are going to make the difference. And if we can win the battle of ideas by showing these amazing examples of entrepreneurs and creative people who have taken liberty and run with it and created something and made lives better, not just their own lives, but their communities better through voluntary association and voluntary exchange, that's how we're going to win this battle. And it's my hope that this book can do that to a certain extent by putting people into a community where they can share these stories, where they can learn that they are not alone, and we can build something better together. We don't have to be on islands. And I know that we get this thing in the liberty movement where we have this idea of rugged individualism, which is wonderful and accurate. But one of the things that's often lost in that narrative is the importance of coming together to build great things, not because you have a gun to your head, but because you want to.
Right.
How powerful is that when we can build amazing things because we actually want to be there? And that's possible, and it's happening. If you're not seeing it, obviously I want to plug my community, but I know for a fact that there are other communities out there you can plug into. Find the one that's best for you and realize that you're not alone out there.
Right. Yeah, that's man, that's right on. And this is something I've been talking a lot about lately too, is, a lot of people, myself included, you get to this, like, you learn about the Libertarian Party and you're like, oh, I'm going to run for office. And I know so many libertarians like that. They're going to run for office. They're going to run these campaigns. And then they're going to be like, oh, I lost. They're going to disappear. Like, oh, that was a total failure. I'm never going to try again. But what's interesting is, like, everybody in this circle seems to think that the Libertarian Party is the only way to make change, as if the world is run by the Democrats and the Republicans, when in reality, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, while they are big, powerful organizations, they are not powerful because of those organizations themselves. They are powerful because of the special interest groups that they're partnered with. And I almost want to liken some of these organizations you're talking about to special interest groups that are liberty oriented. I mean, you've got NORML, which is the big cannabis one. You got things like ACLU, which I know they're not 100% libertarian. The same could be said about Reason Magazine, which it's a magazine. It's I don't know if they, I don't know. I hear they do some freelancing. I don't know if they have like full-time staff or whatever. I'm sure they have.
They do. We actually just helped 2 people apply for Reason internships just 2 days ago.
Nice.
There's one of their deadlines just passed, but there's other deadlines coming up. Working for Reason. I want to say real quick while you're there too, is that even if you love your job and you're a lawyer or a contractor or working in a job that's not working for liberty, you are 100% right that the power structure really does lie with the people, and you can be an amazing ambassador for liberty wherever you are, right? Working for liberty full time is not for everyone. Obviously, this resource is to help those who want to make that step and just don't know how, but there are also just great education resources in the Discord and just out there in the world where you can just learn how to talk about liberty more competently. And so when you're in a conversation at the bank or at the law firm or on the job site, when someone says, man, I'm really upset, man, did you see my paycheck? You could say, hey, guess what? Taxation is what, right? I mean, and you start a conversation with a real human being instead of sitting there thinking in your head, I want to talk about this. I care about this, but I'm worried I'm going to do it wrong. There's so many different sides to this, but you can live in liberty in so many different ways.